Hello and welcome to Super Fast Comic Book Reviews. I'm Jason and this is my weekly comic book review show. The reason it's called Super Fast, the super is because most of my books are superhero books. The fast comes in because I attempt to keep each review to 90 seconds or less. So far I've not achieved that. I usually go waffling on and go a bit longer than 90 seconds, but that's my aim eventually, that each review will be 90 seconds, and hopefully I'm improving as the weeks go by. But as you can probably tell, I do waffle on as I'm doing right now. Each review will be the good points, the bad points of the book, and it will be a mark out of 5. I will also do my pick of the week, which is the book I enjoyed the most, and I will also do my geek out moment of the week, that moment that had the most impact, whether it was a shocking moment or a moment I really enjoyed seeing, or something that had real emotion in it and really touched me. So that's what this video is about, so let's get straight down to business and get to the reviews. First up this week, a book from last week. I saw a lot of good reviews for this on YouTube, so I decided to pick it up. It is 5 Ghosts, The Haunting of Fabian Gray from Image Comics. It is issue 1 of a 5-part mini-series, and I'm really glad I did pick it up because it was a really good book. The art style is a bit retro, which I really liked. I think really worked well for the story. I also really enjoyed the format of the story, the way that we get straight into the action. There's no origin story. We just get straight into the action. This is what he can do. This is how his powers work. The main protagonist as well, I really liked him. I really took to him straight away. It's kind of like a male Lara Croft, but with superpowers. And he goes around, you know, getting treasure, and then he sells them to people. But then as the story goes, you get past that initial bit and you start learning more about him, and they start building up these mysteries and giving you little tidbits here to get you curious. And I thought as a first issue it was really good and really set it up nicely for the next issue. I liked it. I liked this book a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm hoping this isn't only going to be a mini-series. I'm hoping that we're going to have, like, it's going to come out kind of like, you know, like they did Indiana Jones, and you had Raiders of the Lost Ark, then you had Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. I'm kind of hoping we'll follow the adventures of Fabian Gray, and each book will have like a different theme. That's what I'm hoping for, because I really enjoyed this, and I definitely give it a recommendation and give it 5 stars. Next up we have Wolverine and the X-Men, issue 27. Continuing the storyline that's in the Savage Land. I like that this issue we focus a bit more on the kids. There's nice flashback scenes to Wolverine having talks with the different kids on the way to the Savage Land. And in the Savage Land itself, seeing Dog work with the kids and seeing some nice character moments here, and I really enjoyed that we got to spend more time with the kids. I'm liking the Dog character as well, the whole thing about him wanting to prove that he's the better than Wolverine, that he's the better Logan. I like that kind of twist on the tale. It isn't just I want revenge. I thought the characters they brought together in this issue were really interesting, ones they brought from the past. I thought they worked really well. Still not completely sold on the art, but I am really curious to see how this story is going to finish. And I love the moment where Quentin Quire comes a bit too smart with the wrong person, and I really like the end of this issue. And like I say, I'm really curious. I've got like 2 trains of thought how this is going to end. It's either going to end with the kids coming together and saving the day, or it's going to end with Wolverine turning up and saving the day. I'm hoping it's going to be the kids, because I think that would be a nice end to this story. And yeah, I'm still enjoying this book, and you know, I think there's some really good X-Men books out right now, but I'm still enjoying Wolverine and the X-Men, and I give issue 27 4 stars. Next up we have FF issue number 5. Once again, the art in this book is so cool. I really am enjoying it. It just looks totally different to any other Marvel book on the shelf, and that's really good. So much happens in this issue. It's fantastic. After last issue we sort of went off on this tangent with She-Hulk and Wyatt's date. This issue we get back into the story, and there's a lot of things going on here which is really good. The thing, you know, I really liked about this book, it combines light and dark really well. You have the light kind of parts of the book that are quite funny, but then you have other darker moments that you think, oh god, this isn't going to be good. So I liked how they combined that, and it just was a really fun read. Something really shady going on with Medusa. The last page for the second month in a row had me go like, oh my god, I can't believe this, what does this all mean? Sort of moment, and things aren't going to end up good if that's any indication of where this is going. But yeah, another really fun issue, and I give FF issue number 5 stars. Here we go with Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 1 from Marvel Comics, and I enjoyed this book. I really like the relationship in this book between Star-Lord and his dad. I think it's going to be a really interesting relationship, and if that's going to be what the book's going to be around, I think that will be something that will be interesting to follow. I enjoyed the art in this book. I thought there were some really lovely pages in here that I just loved looking at. I enjoyed the art. And I like this whole idea of a council of galactic empires, kind of like an intergalactic Illuminati, if you will. I really like the idea of that. I think that was something that I did thinking, oh yeah. I don't quite understand how this issue fits into the last one, the 0.1 issue, because like at the end of that, I thought Iron Man had become a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yet in this issue, he's just gone into space. So where the last issue I felt it fit really well with what was happening in Iron Man, as well as, you know, this issue I was a bit confused how it all fits in. So yeah, hopefully time will tell. But I'm curious to see where this book's going to go, and I did enjoy this issue. I give Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 1 4 stars. Next up we have Clone from Image Comics, Clone issue number 5, and this was another really strong issue. The story just is awesome, and it moves so fast, so much happens each issue, but this issue we start getting answers. You know, the things that they've sort of been building, they've sort of been teasing. At the end of this first arc, we really get some clear answers of what's happening here and why is it happening, and that was something I really enjoyed. There's a scene, this character on the cover, Jennifer, there's a really strange scene with her at the beginning where you've got like about a dozen soldiers shooting at her, and they're not even that far away, and they only hit her twice, once in the leg and once in the arm, and I'm like, these soldiers must be the worst shots ever, because they're so close, and you would have thought they'd have done more damage, and that scene just seemed a bit, the way, just if they were further away, you could have understood it, but we'd have been so close, you'd have think they would just shot, she would be dead, but that was just a scene that I just didn't think really worked very well. The art, I'm liking the art, but I just think when it comes to faces, the artist does like, here's an example with the older characters. I think he just goes to too much detail on the faces there. Overall though, other than that, I think the art is really good in this book, and this is still a really good read, well worth picking up. I give Clone issue number 5 4 stars. Next up we have Age of Ultron Book 3, and the action really picks up this issue. The last page, oh my life, the last page is my geek out moment of the week. I was totally shocked. It was such a massive reveal at the end of this book, who's behind it all, and I just love that reveal, because at the end you sort of think about it and it makes sense when you think about it, but it's that initial shock of, oh my life, look who's behind all of this. So I loved that moment. I like this issue that we get to see other heroes again. Last issue we met some heroes who were left in San Francisco, as well as our New York group of heroes. This issue, as well as New York, we get to see Chicago. So I like that we're seeing that there's little beds of heroes all over, you know, the world that have survived. So, you know, there is hope that these heroes could come together. The story does really feel like it's moving along now, and I think that's a good thing. You know, I really enjoyed this issue. I'm really getting into this series as well now, you know, especially now we know who's behind it. I'm hoping that means we're going to get more answers in the next issue. But I'm along for the journey, and I'm enjoying it. And after much deliberation, I think I will give Age of Ultron Book 3 5 stars, plus my geek out moment of the week. Next up we have from DC Comics, we have The Flash, issue number 18. And this issue, I enjoyed it. The fill-in artist we got, I think his name's Marcio Takara. He does a good job here. Some of his layouts are very Manapul-esque in the way he lays it out. But then at the same time, he sort of adds his own little twist to it, which I liked. That he just did, it wasn't just like a blatant copy. But like, yeah, you know. So yeah, I did like the art in this book, and I would love to see this artist on his own book, because I think, you know, I think he could do good on his own book if he's given his own thing to work on. So yeah, I really liked the art in this book. I liked how the story sort of combined that we were getting fallout from the previous story arc and feeling consequences, but at the same time we were moving forward and setting up things for the future. So they did a nice job of balancing that. Now the bad. First things first, the colour in this book. I don't understand why the book is coloured every issue by the guy who co-writes the book, by Buccellato, who solely writes this issue. So, you know, when Manapul draws the book, Brian colours it in a lighter tone. The way the colours are, they're much lighter. But when anyone else replaces him and comes in, he colours it a bit darker. And it's very subtle, but you can tell there's a difference. And I don't understand what it is, if it's a different technique of colouring it or what he does. But it does give the book a different feel. And like, I look at books like Hawkeye with Matt Hollingsworth, who no matter who's drawing the book, he will always colour it in the same kind of style. And it helps with that transition, because even though, yeah, it might look a bit different, the colours have that same kind of vibe, and it feels like the same book that you've been reading. And that really helps in the transition of having a different artist on a book. And where this, I don't think he helps at all. Even though Takara's art is really good, he doesn't help with that transition by changing the colour. And I don't understand why he does that, why he changes the colour up a bit. I don't know, maybe it's the way Manapul does his, that he colours it in a different way. I don't know. But it just was something that stood out for me, and I felt it did affect the book. The biggest disappointing thing I felt with this book is at the end of the book, you've got through your story, and it says, if you want to know why what just happened, you need to read Dial H issue 11, and then be back here next month to see what happens next. And I'm like, what? Now, I can understand from a business standpoint why they would do this. I can understand that, yeah, we'll take a book that isn't selling as well, put it with a book that is selling well, and maybe we can get some rub, and maybe we can boost it for a month, and maybe some of them people will stay on the issue. I can understand why you do it. But how do you combine Dial H with The Flash? I can understand maybe connecting it to something like Constantine or Justice League Dark, something like that, or even Animal Man or Swamp Thing, you know, because they're all that kind of part of the DC universe. But The Flash? How would you combine The Flash with Dial H? I don't get it. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed and annoyed with that, to the extent I am considered dropping this book, even though I've loved this one since issue 1. I don't like this whole thing of, oh, you need to read this other book to complete the story that's going on here. Like, you don't mind so much when the books, like if you're reading all new X-Men and something's going to carry on over into Uncanny X-Men, you know that those books, they're in the same part of the universe, you know that there's a chance that they might cross over, so you're prepared for that. But with 2 books totally random like this, I didn't like it, and it just left me feeling like I never got the whole story. And so yeah, I give The Flash issue 18 3 stars. Next up we have another Image number 1, as we have East of West, issue number 1, the new book from Jonathan Hickman. When I started reading this one, I found it really confusing. I was like, have I took a stupid pill or something, because I'm just not following this book? But I stuck with it, and I did start picking stuff up, and in the end I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good read. The art and the colouring, the book looks gorgeous, and also it's that very stylized way that Hickman does his books. It looks gorgeous. It definitely left me intrigued to pick up the next issue, but it didn't blow my boots off, because I was still trying to get my head around, well, what did that mean and what's happening there. I think if you look at Hickman's books, I think when Manhattan Projects and Avengers came out, I got straight from issue 1, I was on board with them books. I liked how it started. This book reminds me more of New Avengers, which was a book that first issue confused me a bit and bamboozled me. But then when the second issue came out, I really got on board, and it became a really good book. And I think this book is a good book, as a good story if you're willing to stick with it. But it is a bit confusing, and I think this is going to be much better once issue 2 is out and we have more of the story. But all in all, this has definitely left me intrigued, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting the next issue. And I give East of West issue number 1 4 stars. So finally this week we have Uncanny Avengers issue number 5, and this is my fifth pick of the week. It was the first book I read, and after I'd read all my books, it was just the one I enjoyed the most. Of course, I loved Olivier Coipel on art. I thought he did a fantastic job. Even Captain America looked good in this issue, which I think in the whole Marvel now, it has been a problem, people drawing Captain America, but I think, you know, Coipel does a good job. I really loved the interactions between the characters in this issue, and though, you know, I've got my doubts, is, you know, the number of members too many for a team. I usually like about 6 or 7, but we're over that. But this issue, it works well, and everybody gets their moment to shine, except for who's not in this issue. I loved the shock appearance of an Avengers villain at the beginning of this book, which I really liked, and I'm really curious to see where that's go. The ending was fantastic. It was a real shock, and I'm like, this isn't going to look good for our mutants. This isn't going to look good at all, but I really enjoyed this book. Rick Remender, he's back on top form, and this is a fantastic point to jump onto if you sort of want to get onto this book, because we get introduced. It's kind of like we're starting, because we get the new members coming in, so it is a perfect point to jump on if this was a book you wanted to try out, and I really enjoyed it. My pick of the week, a 5-star book, Uncanny Avengers issue number 5. Wow, that's been my reviews this week. Thank you very much for watching. I'm quite pleased with myself this week. I think I stuck to the time quite well, except for the Flash. I did go off on a bit of a rant there, I'm sorry. I've made a final decision on the Flash, and I might be overreacting, but I don't see the connection between Dial H and the Flash, and to make me go in and pick up a book that is just so different to the Flash. So yeah, and I am really curious about East of West, so I've decided I'm going to drop the Flash, get East of West instead. So that's going to be a change on my pull list for the future. If you're a Facebook guy, somebody likes Facebook, or I don't know, what do you call people who go on Facebook? You know, I don't know. I don't know if there's a word, but anywho, whatever they call people that go on Facebook. If you're on there, something well worth checking out is the new YouTube comic book community group on Facebook. It was set up, I think it was set up this week. I heard about it this week. It's something well worth being a part of. It has, like, not just your YouTubers who make videos, but a lot of people that watch videos as well, and there's a lot of great interaction on there, and it's becoming a really great community and really growing quickly. So it's well worth checking out. I will put the link for it down below in the description box, so if you are somebody who's on Facebook, then that's well worth checking out. Even if you don't want on Facebook, it's well worth checking out. I know I'm somebody who I don't like Facebook at all. I used to have a Facebook account. All my family kind of found me and wanted to befriend me, and I was like, no, I've got to get off of here. So I got off of it. I closed my account, but I've opened up a new account just to be part of the comic book community group on Facebook. I've set up a brand new account, so I can endorse it totally, and it's something well worth being a part of. I will be back probably sometime this weekend. I will have another review video up. It'll be a short one, just looking at a couple of books that I picked up yesterday. So I'll have that up. Next week, the whole comic haul video will be a day late. The comics over here in the UK don't come out till Thursday. Don't know how it works the rest of the world, but because of the bank holiday, everything gets knocked back today here in the UK. So I won't get my new comics till Thursday. So obviously it'll be for 1 week only, Comic Haul Thursday. That also means my review video next week will be up a day late as well. So that will probably be up on Saturday. That leaves me to say, if you like this video, please click the subscription box down below and you'll get to see loads of me. That segues beautifully into the fact I'd like to thank all my new subscribers and my already subscribers. I never imagined I'd have this many subscribers, so I'd like to thank everybody who has subscribed to me, past, present or future. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. It's always great knowing people appreciate your work, so please give me that thumbs up if you liked this video. That basically, I think, sums everything up. Thank you as always for watching. That's all I've got for this week. As I mentioned, I will be back next week. I've been Jason Ardron. This has been the Superfast Comic Book Reviews. Bye for now.